The subject of immigration and the church goes back to Bible times. Scriptures talk about showing compassion to the stranger in your land. But what if that stranger breaks the law to get there? Churches regularly face that question as thousands illegally cross the border, including women and children. And that includes 18-year-old Jose Maldonado, who's waiting to see if the courts will allow him to stay in the U.S. In the meantime, he's taking classes to learn English. He agreed to talk to CBN News on camera.
Some of them say we just come here to take their jobs and behave badly. I like this country a lot, and you can have a better life. That's why I came here, to have a better life, to help my family.
Last year, Jose traveled from Honduras, up through Mexico, across the Chihuahuan Desert, and into Texas. The 3-month journey almost cost him his life. Out of his group of 25, only 3 people made it through brutal desert conditions to reach America. Jose had very little food or water and knew that he couldn't survive on his own strength. That's when he said he cried out to God in the desert, literally.
I always read the Bible and prayed, and I promised God since I left Honduras that if I made it to the U.S., well, I would dedicate myself to the things of the Lord.
Jose said his grandparents raised him from a young age after his parents abandoned him. They passed away, and as a teenager, he was on his own. He said often the only place to turn is the gang life.
I lived in San Pedro Sula for a while, and there are a lot of gangs there. I really like soccer, and there was a group that rooted for the team I liked. And the group that rooted for them said I had to join their gang or else they would kill one of my family members.
Father Cameron Lemons and his wife Janelle see firsthand what happens to young people like Jose. Their church, St. Paul's, is located next to the city's Border Patrol Center. They believe it is their responsibility to help.
I think it's important for us to differentiate between the political issue of what do we do to secure our borders. We also have this biblical call to show compassion.
Back in July, Murrieta made immigration headlines when protesters filled the streets as buses transported detained immigrants to Border Patrol, most of them women and children. The protests here in Murrieta, California have really shown the great divide over immigration. But the churches in Murrieta have also seen a divide, and it's over one word: compassion. The Lemons, at the heart of the protest, provided shelter to detainees and helped organize churches in the area to pray.
We have been responding, not to pat ourselves on the back, not to promote ourselves, but just to let people know the truth, which is the fact that we're a city that has some common sense. And when you see a baby floating down the river, you pull it out of the river and you take care of it.
Diana Seraphin helped organize the protests and says people like the Lemons fall on the wrong side of compassion. She said the government should send all illegal immigrants back home. One reason? They're a potential health risk.
I'm concerned that some of the churches or people will start taking them in. Our government should have, before they shipped them, bussed them, threw them on a plane, gave them medical treatment. There's too many with diseases.
Seraphin also said if churches want to show compassion, they should start with their own country.
Okay, we're 17 trillion in debt. I'm barely surviving myself, and we're gonna pay them to stay here and take care of them, food and welfare. Our nation can't afford it.
So where does compassion leave immigrants like Jose as he waits for his upcoming court date? The church may not have a clear-cut answer.
I think God has something for me because I put myself in his hands.
And maybe putting it in God's hands is one thing the church can agree on. David Brody, CBN News, in Murrieta, California.